The following is a recording from user Fistelmom73, and the story behind it is quite unsettling to say the least. Fistel is recording an older photo that was taken during a Christmas concert in 2010. She was taking pictures of her son, and the whole family was reviewing the captures the night after that at home. They noticed that there seemed to be something peeking around the curtain in the background that startled them, to be honest. It looks like there's an apparition staring at the children with a sleeping cap on and possibly a nightgown of some sorts. Is it the spirit of an elderly lady? Their son stated that there was nobody in the back that was dressed up like that, nor were there any plays planned for that night. Also, notice the shining eyes. How creepy. They never found out what it actually was. Maybe for the better.
The following video has been shared by a concerned user on Reddit. He's not particularly invested with the world of the paranormal, but found that the following encounter really was strange. He wrote, "Skeptic here. We are lucky enough to have a 1-year-old who sleeps through the night, so when he was up crying for over 2 hours, I knew something was off. After seeing the motion sensors going on and off, we checked the cameras. I don't think we will be sleeping either." A tall figure walking through the grass. You can see that it doesn't move with the aggressive wind and turns right after the deck. The user also states that the bottom storage portion of the deck is about 6 feet tall and the white cast spans the entire height, so this is pretty weird. What do you think about this? Is it just a strange anomaly on the lens, a bug, or a light perhaps? Or did something manifest while coming out of the baby's room? Who knows?
Ryan has found the following video on Reddit and forwarded it to me. Apparently, it was recorded by a young man who noticed that this particular summer some aggressive wasps had built a hive at a neighboring house, which was abandoned for a good year after the owner had passed away. Yet, the recording shows an eerie figure peeking over the fence. Could the person recording, by any chance, capture the apparition of the deceased neighbor? If not, who could that have been? Maybe just a regular person with a mask on, or CG? Look how eerie the eyes seem to reflect. Nightmare material for sure. Thank God this incident took place during the day, am I right? What do you think?
The following is another really creepy recording which was sent to me by Brian and which features another of these bone-chilling Japanese video clips. It was recorded by a young man who saw a strange woman sneaking around in front of their house close to the fields. His idea was to see what she was up to and to possibly confront her about this strange behavior. He follows her, only to lose her for a moment. He walks around for a while, and it got dark in the meantime. After hearing some noises that sound pretty similar to his cell phone, the following unfolds. The creepy woman with a distorted face runs towards him on all four limbs and simply disappears. Terrifying. Again, probably just a film project, but a real goosebumpy one.
The following video is from the early 2000s and it was sent to me by Frank. He states that the clip was captured by a man who assumed that some paranormal forces were tampering with him and his family. This night he heard inexplicable noises, saw fast shadows in the corner of his eyes, and noticed that there were a couple of inexplicable cold spots in several areas of the house. He put his camera on a tripod in the kitchen, filmed towards the living room, and came up with this. So, at what are we looking at here exactly? Some say that it appears to be a spirit in a wheelchair that is rolling into the shot and then vanishes. Can you see that too? I wonder about the history of this older building. Maybe it was one of the former owners. Unfortunately, not much is said about who inherited this place before. But I find this clip truly magnificent, even though it's pretty dated. The next video was sent by Annette, and she told me that the woman featured in it was just fooling around on her rooftop that night, and her neighbor was filming this whole incident transpire. Neri Kellerman, the woman that is featured in the clip, actually didn't notice anything strange that evening. It was just a goofy skit after all. But when her neighbor sent her the recording via Snapchat, she noticed that there seemed to be an eerie black mass standing right next to Neri, which was creepy enough for them to check the video. And there it was.
No, manches, ¿estás loca? ¿Estás loca, verdad? No.
If you look to your left, there seems to be a figure in a dark robe standing right next to Neri. And of course there was nobody else with them, so they seemed really surprised when they saw that creepy apparition right there. To this day it's pretty much unclear what happened that night. Some people say it looks like the Grim Reaper. Would you agree? Maybe something else?
As most of you know, a few weeks ago I started looking at the case of Rami Code, who shares her encounters with a terrifying shadow apparition on her Reddit profile. She has placed several cameras in her apartment to capture all of this activity, which unfolds mostly while she is asleep. Tonight she believes to have captured a shadow moving out of a chair. Take a look. Raimi states that it's not a reflection from the other side of the room, and since she was alone and sleeping, was it the same apparition that she had captured weeks prior? Let me know.
The next was posted by another Reddit user named Pandy Lee, and it apparently was a nightly event that woke her up and made her grab her cell phone. She states, "This is me in the video. I'm currently cross-posting it. I was awakened in the middle of the night by something hitting my bed. I was scared and grabbed my phone to record, and I caught something really weird. It is not me who is causing this." Well, let's check her video out then. Well, what was that? A viewer asked, "Is that your foot?" Pandy Lee replies, "How could this be my foot? It's transparent. And I had it under the comforter. It moved super fast and back down. Please tell me how this could be possible." Another user commented, "When I brightened it up and slowed it down, it looked like a fuzzy shadow moving across. So what do you guys think? Is this just an anomaly? Was this all caused by her, accidentally maybe? Or is this a real apparition? Or just a hoax?" This video is another home surveillance clip that was shared by Jonathan Jones. He states, "Canary captures paranormal activity. This is the third video I have of my Canary video security camera capturing ghostly movement in my home while I was out of town. Mind you, no windows are open. No one had been home for a few days and there's no AC or heat on. Everything was off. In the very beginning, there's something that seems to raise past the whole frame, from left to right. Then there's something that floats down from the ceiling. But then there's a larger something that appears from the left and seems to transform into what looks like a figure of a person walking towards the back door of my living room. What are your thoughts?" So, what's your opinion? Is this something rational that can be explained? Maybe just cars that are driving by? Or are we looking at something way more mysterious here? A bus ride, in most cases, is nothing to be afraid of. It might be different in today's situation, but in general, it is unusual to come across any mysterious events in there, right? In the following clip, a bus driver notices that something seems to be off. Clearly, all passengers had left the bus at that point. Just to make sure, he documents that. When he checks the security monitor of the CCTV camera in there, there seems to be something else with him though. A ghostly passenger. Is it just a light anomaly? Or at what are we looking at here? See how this apparition is wearing some kind of fanny pack even. I'm not sure. Or is it wearing some sort of short pants? This could also be possible. One thing is for sure. This passenger was not on the bus at the time, at least not in this realm.
It is said that he never found out what exactly had caused this image, but I say it's really unsettling.
The following sighting was caught by channel with the name Akron Paranormal Investigations in the early morning hours. Gettysburg is known for its many sightings of spirits and ghostly events, and it's not surprising that Akron could capture something really interesting on camera. While the owner of the channel is filming a wide field of where history transpired in 1863, he noticed an odd transparent figure in the distance. What the heck? It appears that a man in a black suit and hat is walking across the fields. Is it a spirit from another time period? The cameraman is 100% certain that no living soul was with him, or any other person in general could have been walking these fields at the time. Flipping Fanny Fluthers has shared a video on her TikTok that apparently shows a paranormal manifestation in her mirror. She has shared it several times because she felt it didn't get the recognition it deserved. Well, let's help her with that. In general, she mostly posts entertaining songs and dances, so a serious ghost video is a bit out of her forte. Let's see. I do actually agree. A shadow seems to be appearing from the right and then appearing in the mirror. What do you think? Is it a paranormal shadow apparition or just a hoax? His uncle saw two men appearing out of nowhere, right outside their property, which was reason enough for him to get outside and tell them that his property was out of limits for them. What was a bit strange though is the fact that these men did not move once after they had appeared, and they could only be seen for certain moments before they were gone again. Sounds strange. Let's take a look. And this is the moment when his uncle is talking to these two guys, but they don't react, which is really odd. Clearly looks like there's two men standing, doesn't it? But let's think rationally. What else could that be? Some people say that it just could be some regular shadows, but where would that light come from? And it's pretty suspicious that they would disappear once the flashlight hits them. What is your explanation for that? The team of Resonance Paranormal visited the infamous Waverly Hills Hospital, in which they think they might have picked up a shadow person that was not seen at the time, and that also could not have been explained. Initially, they were investigating the premises and had some newer people with them that never had been in this facility before, so everybody was kinda excited at the time. One of the group's members was giving a little informative speech in one of the rooms a little later, and everybody in there was accounted for, according to the uploader. Yet, there seemed to be somebody in the back, walking by the door, and again, that person wasn't seen at the time.
nor was there anybody else in that hallway.
Sometimes I can walk through this place and it's like a big old empty building, and then it's like someone flips a switch all of a sudden, and it's a big old creepy building.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever been frightened?
I got frightened about 3 months ago when I was doing a sweep at 4 a.m. to make sure the building was clear, make sure everyone was out.
Have you seen it? There's clearly a dark apparition standing in the doorway. Our host is explaining next why he thinks that this could not have been one of his team members.
Just prior to this, I'm in the back of the room, and as I walk towards the front of the room, I'm able to document the presence of all of our team members and our tour guide in this space, with the exception of one investigator, Phil, who's down the hallway taking some photographs. And as you can see him in this doorway, you can clearly see light and dark values that define who he is. Even as he steps back into the door frame here, we still see those light and dark values, and we can tell that we're looking at a person. Here's a side-by-side comparison. On the left-hand side, you see the shadow figure, and on the right, our investigator, Phil. And on the top frames, I've done nothing to lighten these up, but you can clearly see those light and dark values. You can clearly see that we're looking at Phil here. You can see his pants, his shirt, which turns up white in the infrared light. You can see the straps from his backpack, and you can see his camera and the hat that he's wearing on his head. This detail does not exist on the figure on the left. On the bottom, I've lightened it up substantially so you can see this difference even clearer.
I definitely think that it is very likely that they came across a real shadow figure in the back. What are your thoughts about it? I find it truly magnificent. This video was shared by channel NVTV, and it was supposedly recorded by a lonely camper who had come across an unexplained being in the middle of a forest that is located in Oregon. At the time of the recording, he states that other people visit this area regularly and that he even caught people here at the time, shooting. He documents the campsite and comments on a really odd wood structure that was built there. Nothing too strange though, basically just a travel diary. However, things seemed to turn sour when the man woke up to unexplained noises in the middle of the night, after he initially was lying down to take a rest. Let's take a look.
I don't know where I am. Or chase me off. I'm wondering. I got darkness. Flashlight.
Many people believe that this young man came across something from another world that night. Unfortunately, the recording ends right there. Could this be an alien that was out in the woods to find him? Or are we looking at a paranormal encounter here? If it isn't just a hoax, of course. Please let me know what you guys think. You might be familiar with a user called Spooky Links, who had purchased a haunted doll off the internet. During the last couple of months, he had documented some eerie events unfolding in his house. Events that are all based around the doll. And in the past couple of days, things have gotten out of hand even more. Before we get into that, let's look at one of the creepy occurrences first. When Lynx had an audio recorder set up next to the doll, it had recorded the following unsettling voice.
Do you know that you're dead? Is there anything you want to say to anyone?
Like literally, I have so much goosebumps.
Tonight he places the doll on a shelf next to a Bible, because he wanted to see what's gonna happen, if anything. But that wasn't all. On another day, while he was playing a video of a real exorcism, he captured the doll moving.
This is weird. Creepy.
On that recording, he had placed the doll in a bath of salt to see if it would do anything overnight. Now, you tell me, is it possible that this doll is haunted? What do you think? This video was recorded by channel FrostmareTV, and he ventured to a place called Klein Falls, which is apparently notorious for weird sightings and even murders that have taken place here in the past. He and his wife were out for the mysterious and exploring some urban legends as well, and maybe even finding something that they could not explain. After walking around for a bit and scouting out the perimeter, the sun sets shortly after, but yet they continue their investigation.
Flashlight.
Is it a rabbit?
I don't know, it's pretty big.
And the darker it gets, the more intriguing stuff they seem to see in the distance.
No. I was looking at myself. That's sad.
And a little bit further down the stretch of road, they might find a strange creature they only heard before, but couldn't see yet.
Where's that your spirit box thing?
No. All right. There's two eyes there. What is that? That is really weird.
Where's one?
That right there. Alright, we out. Hope I didn't latch eye. He's an urban legend here in Oregon. Really creepy character.
Malik believes that they could have potentially come across the ledge eye, which, like he claims, is an urban legend. But could he really? What is looking at them there from the bushes? Viewers pointed out that the eyes are pretty weird, and it doesn't really look like an animal, but maybe they are wrong. Maybe it is just an animal. But what else could it be? What do you guys think? The next clip was shared by Thea Taylor. They shared the recording from their security system that they have mounted outside of their house, and it appears that a person is popping up on frame all of a sudden, walking a little bit, and then disappearing, which kept their whole household baffled after seeing that. Well, let's see what exactly they could record here.
7/2 of 2020. We apparently caught an apparition going to the neighbor's house, going left to right by the trash cans, and in the middle of the driveway, this figure or apparition dissipates. And I've watched this hundreds of times, and nobody goes in the apartment. There it is, walking, no legs, and she disappears. If you see, nobody is going into this apartment right now. And a vehicle drives by. Nobody. Nobody's there. The neighbor left. There's nobody nowhere to be found anywhere. Very odd. What's your thoughts on that?
So, what are we seeing here? On first glance, it does appear just like a regular person, but then the shape disappears. We probably all have seen artifact issues that can be caused by these type of CCTV cameras. But a person vanishing in the middle of the road is really something else. Is it maybe a real apparition that the camera could capture here? Now we're looking at a video recorded by Corey333, who shared this clip on Reddit. He believes that he might have recorded the spirit of his deceased pet following his cat into a room. His post reads, "This is a video from my camera in my house. I used it to see what my cat gets up to when I'm gone. You can see my cat go upstairs, and soon after something follows him. He's the only animal in the house. We used to have a small dog, but he passed away 4 years ago. Let's take a look." And then the recording ends. So, what was going on here? You can clearly see the cat go upstairs, and then there appears to be a blurry shadow following her. Can we believe the reports that this might even be the spirit of their deceased dog? It is likely. Or is this just a bug? Or maybe some dust in the room? Let me hear your explanation. The next video is a paranormal investigation of Seaview Asylum in New Zealand from Channel Omega. Seaview is known for its eerie reputation, especially among paranormal investigators. It was established in 1872, situated on the cliffs near Hokiata and covering around 150 acres. Like many other institutions of its kind, it has a dark history of rumored off-the-record experiments, extreme treatments, and other serious misconduct. The asylum exudes a palpable sense of negative energy throughout the entire property. There have been even claims that the tennis court might have been an unmarked graveyard. Despite this unsettling history, Omega decides to conduct an overnight stay in his quest to explore and uncover the paranormal.
So you obviously, did he appear in that window? Yeah. So you obviously, he heard, I think the EMF went off several times. Yeah, I've got it. And he's appeared in that window. You know, you can see face in that window. You caught it? I've got it on my camera. Did you, everybody saw that?
I saw nothing on the camera on my one.
At one point late in the night, the team manages to capture a chilling moment that appears to be a ghost sighting through a window. If you take a close look at both camera feeds, it's evident that there's something in the window, and it's not just a stain on the glass itself. It's strange because the way the light reflects off, it suggests it's something other than a typical smudge. What makes it even more bizarre is that both cameras were capturing the figure from nearly the same angle. Yet for some inexplicable reason, this figure appeared on opposite sides of the window.
Is really a ghost showing itself after I taunted it? Or is there a clearer explanation to this one that we're all not seeing?
This raises the question, was this actually a ghost, making itself visible to the team? Or is it possibly something else that they've captured that night? This clip was captured by a TikTok user called I can't read it, sorry. He noticed that his dogs were behaving a bit weird all of a sudden. Although his dogs don't seem to be necessarily afraid, they clearly notice that something is standing in the left room.
Let's zoom in a little bit. What can you see? It's a bit unclear to me.
The following clip was uploaded to Reddit by user Heron to the paranormal video subreddit. About it, he wrote, "My father used to work as a security guard in a building, night shift, and repeatedly during the early morning he would send me these videos. We never had the slightest idea what it could be, but if you ask me, I would say that it's a woman." In the video, a white shadowy shape is seen floating or standing in the hallway. However, commenters noticed the strange way the figure seems to be swaying, as though it is turning or looking around the room in a very human way. The original uploader mentioned that this was not the first time unexplained things happened in this building. Perhaps it truly is haunted by this womanly figure. What are your thoughts on this? User Crims has shared the following really mysterious recording in the paranormal Reddit section. It was captured by the security camera of his workplace. He states, "Check this out. So one of my employees found this emergency door wide open. When I reviewed the footage, I saw the following happening. Take a good look. There's clearly something happening once the door is open. It was an old CCTV system, and we never got an HD system until like last year."
You see it?
Well, what do you guys think? There's clearly something opening the door, and then this transparent shadowy thing appears. It's a little dark object that is visible at knee height. Of course, we can't be absolutely sure that it wasn't simply artifacts caused by the camera. However, the door opening without any apparent reason makes this all a little bit weird.
You see it?